This is like, type in the chat, how many people did you lay off like this so far, right? Type in the number, right? 10, 12, 3, 5, 14. Oh, what was the 14 one? That was a lot, right? Karen, how many people did you lay off this week?
What am I keeping on? 20. I think now we're at 25. I changed my mind on a couple to put them on the leadership team and keep them on salary, but 25.
Okay. Okay. And what would you say was like what tips would you give anyone who hasn't laid someone off yet?
Find out all the appropriate and accurate information in your province. Consult legal advice if you are unsure, or HR advice, or whether that's your accountant, HR, legal. You need to consult appropriate advice so that you do things correctly. Don't panic and just lay off people without having the specifics, because that will cause them to panic because they know that they're about to get laid off anyway. That I would suggest, and I would suggest that we did this with every single person. It took all day, but having a face-to-face conversation, not in an email, but a personal conversation with them to talk about this. And if they're not at work, then at least over the phone. I think that's critical. And that was really huge for us in our experience of how much staff appreciated. Both of us were there, both of us talking to them. They felt supported. They knew we were doing everything possible to help them. And we're trying to find ways to top them up, all of those things. So I think that's huge. And knowing exactly how to do it. And I think you do have to give them a letter from the advice that I've been given, but you make sure that you have the appropriate information in there.
And you get them to sign it off as well, right? There's a
yes.
Can you talk about the sign off feature? Because we talked about that in our community this week, right?
I mean, it's a paper. If it's obviously a printed paper, then there's a place where they sign off to agree to the terms. I've got some people who are self-isolating right now, so we're going to have to do that digitally. But they do, as far as I've been told, they do have to sign off.
Darryl, I'm gonna swing this to you now. We talked about it a lot this week as well, about like, you know, Karen's in a different situation because all her physios and athletic therapists, everyone's an employees, right? So Darryl, once again, this is not financial, legal advice or HR advice. You gotta talk to your person because every province is a little different. But Darryl, what have you seen other people do in our community in terms of laying off independent contractors, right?
Yeah, so this is sort of the challenge. And what I would say we've seen is a couple of things. So one, the independent contractors, the owners have actually asked the independent contractors to do the telerehab, and they've obviously used their splits in that situation, and then they can do it from home. Whereas there's always some questions around EI and if my employee is on EI and then working. So that's where some owners have gone to the contractors specifically. Others though have actually just had to still say that there's no, you know, due to the shortage of work, there is nothing, and the contractors are now actually working remotely, trying to build and stay in contact with their staff. For us though, from a federal government perspective, what was discussed in our call is just the new emergency relief benefit that's coming out for self-employed individuals, which is actually great for all of us by our understanding as well. So just for those of you that haven't heard about it yet, it looks like the application for all of our independent contractors who are not able to work at this point in time or have reduced significantly their actual revenues and their earnings, they can tap in, and it's the dedicated or the predicted time right now is April 2020 that we'll be able to apply for the